This is how I wedge clay that I've recycled. Clay that's been recycled needs to be wedged really well because it's full of tons of air pockets, and the technique that I like to use is called cut wedging. I start by cutting my roll of recycled clay in half, and then shaping each of those halves into blocks that are more or less the same size. Next, I cut 1/2 inch thick slices from each of my 2 blocks and stack them one on top of the other, making sure to alternate back and forth between the 2 blocks. I always aim to cut and stack at least 20 slices of clay. Then comes the cut wedging. Cut wedging gets its name because it involves repeatedly cutting a block of clay in half and then slamming those halves on top of each other. So here you'll see me cut the stack in half and then slam the first half on the second, which doubles the amount of layers that I started with. Then I'll rotate the new stack 90 degrees, slam it a couple times to get a more manageable shape, and then I'll repeat the cutting and stacking process 20 more times. Each time I repeat the process, I'm doubling the amount of layers in this block of clay, which is removing more air bubbles and making the clay more consistent. Believe it or not, if you start with 20 layers and you repeat this process 20 times, you're going to go from 20 layers of clay to over 20 million. Once I've cut and stacked 20 times, I'll cut the block in half just to double check that the consistency of the clay is really smooth, and then I'm ready to use this clay to throw.